Welcome YouTube for the first video from Bugoutstuff. As many of you know, we own a surplus and survival store at Saturday's Market in Middletown, Pennsylvania. But that's later on. What my video about today is, from one of our vendors, I received an item from a company called 12 Survivors Fish and Fire Kit. Well, when I seen the 12 Survivors Fish and Fire Kit, it immediately brought to mind another product I had seen before. The Chinese version of the same thing. Now, after doing a little more investigating, I found out that the 12 Survivors Fish and Fire Kit is also made in China. This on Amazon right now is going for about $13 or $14 plus shipping. This I got for $1.23 plus $1.50 shipping. Let's look into it and see what we got. Stop. So we're going to go through these two item per item, and you tell me. This came in the Chinese kit, an H&K sling swivel. By the way, we sell these at our store for $3 a piece. This totally swivels around, but it is what it is. Next, let's go with the two floats. This came out of the Chinese kit. This came out of the 12 Survivors kit. Next, let's move on to the actual paracord. The 12 Survivors paracord is actually a little bit nicer. The Chinese, same amount, it's just about 3 inches shorter, not as heavy. Next, let's go to the swivels, the fishing swivels. You can see they're both the same. Next, let's go to the weights, the actual fishing weights. These are the 12 Survivors. These are the Chinese swivels. Stop it. Next, let's go on to the weights. These are the Chinese weights. These are the 12 Survivor weights. As you can see, you decide. The line, the actual fishing line from the Chinese eBay kit and the fishing line from the 12 Survivors kit. Next we have the ferro rod. Ferro rod from the 12 Survivors kit, ferro rod from the Chinese kit. About 3/4 the size, maybe 2/3. You decide. Next, we have the alcohol pads. Yes, they give you, each one gives you an alcohol pad. I am not an expert, but I would say they're pretty comparable. Next, we have the tinder. The tinder from the 12 Survivors kit, the tinder from the Chinese kit. Then we have the fishing hooks. Fishing hooks from the 12 Survivors kit, the fishing hooks from the Chinese kit. Both the same size, by the way. Then we move on to the two safety pins from the 12 Survivors kit and the two safety pins from the Chinese eBay kit. You can see that these are much larger than these. Next, let's move on to the scalpel blades. Each one gives you a scalpel blade. Now, as you can see, these two scalpel blades are the exact same size. Exactly. Next, let's move on to the sewing needle. The 12 Survivors sewing needle and the Chinese sewing needle, if I can pick it up here. There we go. As you can see, larger needle. Now, I'm not sure why either kit thinks you need a sewing needle, but it's included. Might be important. Next will be the tin foil. This is the Chinese eBay kit tin foil. This is their tin foil from 12 Survivors. I will say the 12 Survivors tin foil is larger, but it's also much thinner. Now let's move on to the things that they don't really measure up side to side. The 12 Survivors gives you what they call 6.6 feet of iron wire. It's wire. That's all it is. They also give you this thing, which I thought was a compass at first. It's not. It's an advertisement for 12 Survivors. It has no functioning purpose. They give you this little lure thing here, and I hope that the camera can pick that up. What the Chinese kit gives you is an actual blade plus a thing to scale your fish, and it hangs on your paracord, I assume. Now, I do not mean this to disparage 12 Survivors in any way, but cut. So my goal is not to disparage one or the other, but to inform you that maybe the money that you could save could be better spent on cans of tuna fish, diapers, better ferro rods. I'm just saying that what you need to do is decide where your money's better spent. Being a big name is not always better.